Good morning, Vietnam, and to Indonesia, and to Philippines, and to India, Canada, UK, United States, Mexico, the Netherlands, and all the top countries that contribute to views for this channel. Yeah, good morning to all of you, and to all the other countries as well. We have a pretty eclectic, diverse group of individuals who watch, and so I appreciate all of you. And thank you, thank you, thank you for your precious donation of time. This guy in front of us, the subject matter at hand today, is Brave Troops' Optimus Prime, and I believe this is a take on Bumblebee Prime, right? I'm always getting confused between this version and the Revenge of the Ballin or Rise of the Beasts. You know, people hate when I say that, so I'm just going to keep saying it because it's funny. He's really detailed and very, very decorative and ornate, and so some of the areas that are not kind of throw me off. Like, for instance, this is really cool. I love the fact that this is all covered because a lot of primes, they just have the shins of the robot hanging out over here. So this is beautifully done. But where you see all this detail, this back bumper thing is kind of like, huh? It's just so plain, you know? I don't know. It's so weird. And also kind of like the sides over here, you see there's just no sculpt. It's just smooth and it's kind of bizarre. There are some other areas like the inside of the legs that you'll see later on that are just, maybe that's a design. I don't know. But it seems so out of place when everything over here, there's just so much. There's just so much. And yeah. But you know, the accessories, which he has an abundance of, are kind of like that too. These are well done. He has a ton of accessories. They also have light up gimmicks and beautifully crafted. And the way they connect to the hands are pretty smart too. This is pretty simplistic, but I believe by nature it is supposed to be like that. And again, cool light up gimmick and everything. And one of the odd things is that, yeah, they included batteries in their toy. Normally people do not, because I think there's some type of shipping violation. I don't know. I could be wrong. But normally they don't include batteries, but this one did. Anyway, the handles over here are done well. They're weathered and they fit the motif of the truck, but these blades have no weathering and they're just so stark in their colors. It just kind of throws me off. I feel like it doesn't fit the motif. I feel like it should be a little bit darker or dirtier or grittier or something. This stark silver and yellow or gold kind of like, I don't know, man. It throws off the motif. It makes it look too new, while the weathered handles make it look old, you know? So I think it's pretty inconsistent. So minor gripe, but yeah, I don't really like them. That excuse me. The hand cannons that I showcased earlier, those are dope. But yeah, he's not without his faults, and you're going to see more of that as we transform him. And so either you're going to hate or love this guy. I think most of you are going to like him and appreciate him. He is a tiny bit of a stiff griff in certain areas. The articulation is not great, while some areas are nice. But yeah, we'll be able to see more of that when we get into the bot mode. And why don't we go ahead and do that right now? Hey, really quick with a commercial break from our sponsor, TF Safari, tfsafari.com. Check them out for all of your mecha needs from first, second, third, fourth party. They also do upgrades as well. You're not going to find a lot of sites that cater to different tastes and needs. tfsafari.com. And if you do go there, utilize the codes that you see on the top right corner of the screen and save yourself a little bit of change, man. They are a very reliable vendor. They are out of China. They ship to you in about 2 weeks, super sturdy boxes. And yeah, tfsafari.com. Can't say enough nice things about them. And so thank you so much, TF Safari, for sponsoring this video. Okay, so let's get him into bot mode. And big shout out to MGO the Great. I am following his review because this guy does not come with any literature. You know, what's up with that, dude? That's been a big thing as of late. And to be honest, well, I don't mind if you don't come with literature. That's fine. Don't include the instructions, but if you do include a QR code, make sure that the instructions are easy to follow. Yeah, right? That's your responsibility if you're not going to include a set of instructions. But maybe I'm old school. I like that paper. But all right, let's get him transformed. So there's a lot of great things about this in terms of locking and tabbing and stuff like that. The thing that's not great is sometimes things are very space specific and you will encounter collision. And so you got to move some bits around. But overall, it's not a bad ride. To start off, we are going to disengage this panel, which pretty much is locking in the cab to the leg. I wish it would sit a little bit more flush. I could be doing something wrong. But yeah, so you're going to pop that bit open. And you can see that's the elbow joint over here. Same thing for this side. And I might be doing a couple of things out of order or simultaneously at the same time. But it doesn't really hurt the transformation. And all the, you know what? I'll just focus on the legs. But yeah, you can see all of these bits are going to come apart over here. And there's some interesting stuff that they do over here like this in order to like bridge that gap. So lots of unique things. Yeah, lots of unique things, right? So it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool for what it does. But yeah, man, there's just a lot of moving parts. Lots of moving parts. Okay, I often say that at work. Yeah, lots of moving parts. Lots of moving parts. You know, meaning things are dependent upon other things. This is asymmetric. One side goes over here, one side goes over here. It reminds me of, I don't know if it's Byway who did that with the Studio Series 102 KO, but yeah, it kind of reminds me of some of that stuff. This is supposed to tab in here, this slot, but it doesn't stay in there that convincingly. And this does not tab in anywhere. It's kind of floating, and it operates off of a very, very stiff double hinge, and just be kind of mindful of that. And so what we're doing right now is basically we're separating all the areas that are holding the legs together. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, this part, you know, this Optimus Prime is, well, we'll move this down to kind of unlock and reveal this. This part is kind of interesting in that, how do we do this? Yeah. We'll pop this down, and this is a side skirt, and it's just kind of hidden. And not only is it hidden, it's used to actually connect and secure that bit. So I found that actually very interesting and somewhat titillating. So we move that up and we bring that in. That's cool. That's a nice way to hide the smokestack. And I don't know if this is a transformation abrasion, but if that is, that's too bad. Let's check the other side to see if he has that. Huh. I hope not. I hope not. And that just goes to show you, if it is, that yeah, the tolerances, or not, excuse me, not the spacing and everything is very, very tight. And we'll get that bugger in there. So he doesn't really have that, and so it's probably not a transformation abrasion. It's probably from the sculpt, or I don't know, man. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and free that up, and you can see the side skirts have now been revealed. This middle section, you can see that they are plugged in, or maybe you can't, but we're going to separate that there. Now we're going to separate the hitch, and these kind of just separate it on their own. This is probably the weakest bit of the connection, in that it is a thin bar that's extended from this side. And so, yeah, and so that's just going to recess later on the inside. But yeah, those are the legs. Okay, I cut away just to compose myself, because I was getting a little bit like overwhelmed. Sometimes that will happen to me. There's too much going on, and I gotta like wring my hands. I gotta get up. I gotta move. I gotta shake a little bit just to kind of just get everything, just to free up the energy. And I kind of had to do that right now. And you saw what I did. I just flipped this over, and you can see the very, very nice spring coily details over there. And you can bring all of this out. And from here, this is great. This entire foot is just kind of hidden. This chunky monkey foot is hidden all within here. And then we will flip this around. But yeah, just kind of hold this in place and bring that all around. And then you can flip in that bar. I don't know if it goes all the way, but yeah, sure, why not? And then from here, we can start compressing this, and we can start opening this up as well. This is supposed to stay in here, and it's supposed to tab in place, but I don't know, sometimes it's a little bit loose. And so just full disclosure, before you do this, you have to swing this around. I forgot about that, because once you do that, that will allow you to bring this is kind of on the inside. It'll allow you to bring it out if the wheels are in the right place. Okay, cool. And this, you can bend the knee down a little bit. You're going to bring this out, and then you're going to bring it up to cover the kneecap, and so that the leg looks like that. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. And then from here, I think that just folds up like that. And there's a double hinge, and so that's just going to fold over that. And this also is on the double hinge, but that neck also is a little scary. Sometimes, by the way, if you hear me repetitively use the word bits, it's because sometimes I'll be trying to avoid saying certain words that trigger the YouTube bots. And but in this instance, I just might be saying them. Come on, little one. That right there is supposed to tab in there. There we go. and that part will tab in on the bottom, and this will tab in right there. That's looking good. And the foot, it opens up, but it doesn't like click in place. So it has a tendency to kind of collapse in. Oops, a tendency to collapse in on itself. But they are meant to spread open, not just the back, but get a load of this. Even the front part, these little side bits are meant to expand as well. I would not have noticed it had Engo not pointed it out, because when you get it, it's all fully compressed. See, the foot just kind of compressed on itself. Again, not the most hateful thing, but I do wish it kind of like clicked so that I don't have to keep adjusting it. But that's the foot. Looks good. Calf looks good. And you can see this is coming undone, like I mentioned, right? Has a tendency to do that. But I think we're all in there, JR. Okay. And I will repeat the process for the other side off camera. Alrighty, the legs are done, and they look pretty good, right? They look pretty good. Other than the small little faults that I pointed out earlier, I think it looks good, and I think we are ready to move on to the front section. This piece over here is the back armor, and we're going to be able to expand that once we start freeing up more space. You are going to encounter a lot of collisions, so just putting that out there. And really quick, if I can just kind of break the fourth wall with you guys. You know, the main goal that I have when I'm doing these videos is, one, I want to have fun. And I want to have fun bringing you guys new toys, things that I think are cool, things that I think are not cool. And overall, that is just the general vibe, right? But, and I don't want to be paying focus to like, and by the way, you got to split these. I don't want to be paying attention to performance too much, but YouTube reminds you constantly to be like, hey man, look at this video, dude. It sucks, man. It's not doing well. I mean, they won't tell you like that, but they'll be like, yo, it's your poorest performing video in the history of all history, dude. You suck. Well, okay, it doesn't tell me that, but that's the feeling that I get. And YouTube wants your videos to perform well, because if your video perform well, it means that users are watching, and therefore the time per user on the platform is and that's a metric of success, by the way. How much time somebody spends on your channel. Not the totality of how long do they watch each video, but aggregate amount of time. So if you come to this restaurant and the amount of time that you spend is high, then YouTube's going to continue to promote this restaurant, so to speak. And I kind of don't want to pay attention to that stuff, because I feel like it takes the fun out of the way. But yeah, they're always reminding you of that type of stuff. And why I'm saying that is one of my recent videos is really poorly performing, and it's bothering me, and I wish it wasn't. But anyway. Okay. So you saw that I basically, sorry, man, just needed to vent. I'm starting to fold all of these things back because, again, you just need clearance. You need clearance to be able to bring out the arms. This bit over here is a very interesting piece of the structure. It is kind of tabbing this thing into place, but it is not like the linchpin, the keystone, or anything that's locking it in place. It's actually a bridge for a portion of the back, but it serves an interesting role. But anyway, we will go ahead and remove that as well. All of this stuff, this is all tabbed in, or excuse me. You know what? I was about to just open this, but I can't, because I realized this portion over here is kind of holding this in place. And so I think at this point I will unlock this. And this is holding all of this. These are these are the ribs, and it follows this similar fashion as like MP01 or MP10. I forget which one of them did it first, but that's going to allow us to now start unfolding the arms. And yeah, so this is kind of in there. There we go. There we go. So we fished it out. Look at how compact it is in there, man. And one thing I will say about the head, I'll just say it, dude. There's not a lot of room in there. And many times while I was going through the transformation, the head would just explode on me. The ears would come off, the faceplate would come off, and there's just not a lot of space. And just kind of giving you a heads up about that, okay? So this piece, again, just kind of fish it out, and maybe this one will be a little bit easier. Oh, it was. Okay, cool. So we just fish that all out. And fishing that all out, you can see this will start to unlock as well, because this is actually the back. And so you need to kind of start peeling this all away. Let me see if this will actually allow me to straighten up the body right now. No, I have to remove the head. Give me 1 second while I orient myself, okay? You know what? Before we get too deep on the torso, let's clean them up a little bit. And so these bits over here are going to untab, and they're going to fold in on themselves as you bring them forward. I think that's all that they do for now, and I'll just kind of do that. And then the arms over here, these top bits, they will kind of close in, and these will move back, and this forms the pauldron, and it's an independent moving piece from the arm itself. And then you can bring that in, and that will tab in right there, and then you can orient the smokestack as necessary. You can fold that up, bring that all the way back, and oh, one bit that I almost forgot is, you see this, the arm, you can pull out the arm so that it's the proper length, and now you can bring the shoulder over it, and same thing for the other side. Just kind of rotate that out and close this all, and close that all up like that. And he's coming together, Heather. You can definitely see it, right? And so now earlier we opened up these bits, and so you can open up this bit, because this entire section, is going to come out and it's going to spin, but I need to get the proper clearance. So just give me 1 second, okay? You know, and these are times where I wish there was some literature. That would be really nice, right? These are those times, yeah, where it's just like, I wish I could just look at one specific section right now because it's kind of giving me some trouble. But this whole section you're going to peel out, and then you're going to do that. Pretty interesting, right? The instructions do tell you to flip the head to the side, bend it in, and then undo the spin. But I feel like there's enough clearance for you to get by. And I think with that, yes, we can pull all of this forward. But maybe I need to hide the ribs first. We're going to spin that, and we're going to bring that down. And then this is going to sit up in here. And I could be doing a couple of things out of order, but look at that, dude. Look at the great detail in this, the sculpt, and also the paint and the highlights on the ribs. That's pretty nuts. And so, yeah, repeat that for the other side. And I think it's MP01 who does this, right? I think it's MP01. And while this is happening, these flaps you can bring out. There is a little bit of a bob and a hinge over here, so you can use that to get clearance, but you're going to fold these bits out, and they're just going to cover this gap that's going to be present over here for the sake of articulation. And so, yeah, you're going to bring that bit out. I do need a little bit more space, so maybe I could just kind of bend the legs forward. This does have a double hinge. Like, it has a standard one, but there is a second one that you can engage to get a little bit more forward movement. And it's on a very, very, very tight hinge. So much that the second one actually won't even engage. Huh. That's a trip, man, because I need a little bit of extra space over here, buddy. And I'm afraid that if I force it... Sorry for the technical difficulties. Yeah, I just found out that the second hinge that allows this leg to kind of move forward with greater mobility, it's just kind of stuck, dude. And I don't want to take it apart, but it moves backward okay, but forward it has some difficulty, so oh well, dude. Anyway, it's not going to impede the transformation, so yeah, just the range of motion a little bit. And so you can see that I flipped this bit up. In this bit, by the way, I found out that I forgot to fold the red things inward. I was kind of doing this wrong because you need these things to sit inside that channel. And then once you do that, you can actually tab that in. It's a tight connection. It's just by friction, though. So just try to get the proper leverage, because as you're pushing, it's going to have a tendency to want to like bend and flex. And the plastic material is very good, so I'm not worried about it snapping, but nonetheless, you do have to get into the right area to kind of secure all of that in place. And so with that being said, you can kind of arch the back a little bit, and you can see the front is lurching forward. So we need to kind of close up all of this part. And so we're going to get this, and we're going to fold that entire section in there. And this is going to come down, and these bits, that little square section that I mentioned earlier, are going to tab in like that. And again, it's just on friction, but it's a pretty secure connection. And so you can go ahead and push that in there. And these bits are just going to cover the sides when it does the flexing, when it does the bend. A lot of that is just to hide the empty space. And so, yeah, the fact that they kind of thought of all of that, I think, is pretty nice. And then once you've done that, you can, well, if this is situated properly, this should close up on that. So now I'm led to believe that, perhaps I did something wrong, because this entire red section is supposed to clear this. It's supposed to be able to sit on top of it like that. And this, I don't know if it moves up, but is meant to, oh, it does kind of move up. Okay. It's meant to tab in there. So these red parts, those are done okay, but for some reason, I can't get that to kind of close up. Huh. Oh, it might be because I forgot to fold some of these bits up. Maybe that's the case, but we'll see in just a second. And if I did any of that off camera, I am so sorry. I'm a little flummoxed, I'm not gonna lie. It's building up my flummox meter, and the greater that meter is, the more difficulty I'm gonna have in actually transforming this stuff. So like this, like, please stop compressing. I need you to stay up, because I'm trying to. My friends, give me a moment. Okay, I was doing it right, but it was literally just an order of operations. So we got to get the red parts down first. And once they're in there, we can bring that piece down and we can tab that in. And then you want to make sure that these are pressed up as high as possible. And then you want to make sure that this is as low as possible while still maintaining that connection. And then you can ensure that those things are sitting under the red bits. And now we can tab everything in. Yeah. Okay, so definitely have a little bit of a sense of relief, but now we've got to get that to tab in there. Okay, it's coming together, Heather. Yay, yay. And so for the chest, I think this is all folded up properly. And it's just a matter of, oh, forgot. So you see this entire neck base? You're going to slide that baby back. Yeah, right? Baby back, baby back, baby back. If you're from America, you know where that's from. I want my baby back, baby back, baby. And that is supposed to fold in there, but something is kind of keeping it stuck. What? Okay, cool. I had to pull it out a little bit. Glad I didn't He-Man force that, right? And so after you've done that, and I can keep this in the camera shot, we can bring that forward, bring that down, and we can bring these in together. But I don't think this tabs into place. Oh, these bits. You got to fold those silver bits down from the window. But yeah, I don't think there's a tabbing mechanism anywhere. I think it just sits like that, and this closes up. And And I think you have the chest just like that. I could be wrong. I am going to double check, but that appears to be it. And so for the forearms, we will bend the fist out. And we will slide that up, and then this whole thing will twist around. It will sit down, that will fold in. Then you can twist that arm around and then fold that back. We'll do the same for the other side. Bring the fist out, spin it, fold this down, bring that up, spin that all around, Jerry Brown. And do that, and do that, and do that. And I think we're done. Let me double check some things, clean them up, and we'll talk about the bot mode. All right, that took a little bit of effort, right? But we got through it, and if you hung with me, hey, I appreciate you for that. What an intricate transformation. It's not impossible. It's not. It's just that I lack literature, and it precludes me from absorbing this the way that I want to, absorbing the transformation methods, in the way that I want to. But again, thanks for MGO the Great, and also TM Reviews. I watch his channel a lot for transformations. I recently watched the scavenger video that he put up because that too did not have any literature. And so yeah, God bless the souls that undertake transformations without proper instructions. You can see the bottom of the legs. I mean, we saw it earlier during the transformation. It looks good. There is this kind of gap over here, but I think it's meant to be like that, or I'm wrong. Maybe it looks better like that, but then there's kind of like a gap up there. I don't know, man. I don't know which one's better, but either way, let's just do that. That seems to be a midpoint compromise. That's not too bad. The feet do keep kind of compressing together, so I have to keep spreading them apart, but neither here nor there. Looks good. Range of motion. He is, the arms are arguably better than the legs. The leg has this basic, but it has this second hinge that's supposed to allow you to do more. But to be completely honest, dude, I'm not doing like Bruce Lee Kung Fu kicks with this guy. I don't really care about it that much. And this leg can't do that anyway. And you get decent side to side, especially if you kind of give that more clearance and you bring that down. But he's not the most articulated when it comes to the hips. His knee joints aren't bad. He has that, and that's cool, man. But yeah, hips wise, he's pretty stiffy. Just straighten these bits out. These are nice and chunky, by the way. They feel like little plastic nuggets versus flappity armor bits in the wind, and so that's nice. The crunch, we saw this earlier, so that's cool, man. That's really, really well done. They did a lot to actually include this, including this bridge that I mentioned earlier, and all these parts on the side that are meant to hide the hollow bits. That crunch, though, is what also requires this to be empty, to be hollow. You can't see it in the robot when he's just standing like that, but if you look underneath, you'd be like, bruh, because he uses that to basically crunch forward versus this kind of folding along with it, you know? And so while he does have a back crunch, he doesn't have a forward crunch, so he can't go like full curled up snail mode or anything like that, but still, that's done pretty well. Arms wise, he has decent articulation because these are independent shoulder pieces, the pauldrons, and so they can move around. You can move it here. Elbow bend is pretty decent too, or I thought it was. I take that back. 90 degrees, not the worst thing. But yeah, shoulder-wise is decent. Shoulder's probably where you're going to get the best articulation. You get head movement and things like that. So overall, pretty good. Not the best and not the worst, but he does a decent job in a lot of places. And I think presence-wise, he has really, really good presence. The one that I can compare him most to is probably the Lucky Cat. The Lucky Cat Atlas MVP 01, and actually for the longest time I actually thought they were the same toy, and I was engaged in friendly debate with some of y'all, and I kept on insisting they were, and you guys were like, no, it's not, and you're absolutely right, they're completely not the same toy. Structure wise, engineering wise, just design philosophy, they couldn't be more different, and so you guys are right. Oh, before I forget, let me show you the light up gimmick. He has a little button on the back of the head. It's hard for me to press in, and so I'm going to use this little spudger to do so. You press that all the way in, and he has some nice bright blue eyes. That's pretty cool, right? think it's done well. And most toy manufacturers, they don't include batteries within the toy because I think they're worried about leakage and things like that. But nah, these cats were like, whatever, dude. They just kind of did it anyway. And so, yeah, thanks for that. And, oh, wait a minute. Okay. I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to undo it. But let me show you some of his accessories and then we'll wrap up the video, okay? All right, let's talk about the hand blasters. They look really, really nice, man. They look obnoxiously nice. The hand blades, the wrist ones especially, the ones that are kind of Wolverine style, I think those are obnoxiously bad. I think they're way too big, but these are done well. And he does have a little light up gimmick over here, and so you can kind of see that red hue. Pretty cool, man. This one, the battery's dead, but yeah. And if you want to swap the battery out, you can just pop this piece off, and then unscrew those bits, and then just reattach it like I can't do right now. That's great. Okay, cool. And then the way it attaches is just via friction. You just basically slide it off. You have the fist balled up, and it just goes into that channel, so it is easy peasy, but pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And so, yeah, let me show you some of the other accessories because for the most part, his accessory game is pretty tight, other than what I mentioned about the wrist blades. All right, here he is with this handy-dandy hand cannon. That looks really, really nice. It operates off of a tab and slot mechanism. I do wish they were a little bit deeper and more pronounced because sometimes it will get knocked out. But obviously it's being supported by the second hand, so that works good. There's a little button here. You can see the light up gimmick in the front. I'm not going to blind you by pointing it into the camera, but yeah, that's there. And that's nice, man. I do wish the arms could bend a little bit more because that would give him more presence versus just holding these at kind of like somewhat 90-degree angles. But overall, this is not bad. And you can see he has tremendous presence throughout. I mean, I keep saying that, but that's really the word. His body is well proportioned. It's nice and thick. And he gets into the right type of pose and contour and posture to be holding this in his hand. And so I think that's very good. Very, very pleased with how that looks. This might be the thumbnail pose. This is pretty cool. Okay, here he is with all of his hand accessories, and I know it's a bit overkill. I know. Let me show you this one, the whole Wolverine thing. So the way that this connects is it's actually embedded in the forearm. Yeah, you open that up, and it's because he has this extra space over here. So what you're going to do is that large bit, you're going to affix in there, and that little tab is going to sit inside that tiny groove, and it's just going to go like that. Easy peasy, right? But they're obnoxious. The whole swords are, all of the swords are obnoxious in my opinion. They're way too big, way too big. Perhaps that's not a bad look. I do like him with the one axe and one sword. It looks like he's dual wielding in some type of video game, and he chose to go one axe and one sword because they have better stats and things like that. They all like connect via tab and slot, just like the blaster. I wish they were a little bit more pronounced because you can see that this is the depth and this is the height of those tabs. I wish they're a little bit longer, but whatever, dude. It is what it is. They're not really falling out right now. And so I think that's that. And yeah, man, overall, not too bad. Very impressive quite actually. And that about does it, friends. That concludes the review for Brave Troops', they just called this fool Commander. Yeah, no other name than just Commander. That concludes the video for Commander. I hope you have enjoyed your time here. I really sincerely do. I hope you have watched this and not thinking like, oh man, dude, I just wasted a bunch of my time or something. I do appreciate your precious, precious donation. You could be anywhere right now, but you chose to spend the time here. So thank you very much. And if there's anything that I could be doing better or you want to see something else in the review, let me know and maybe I can incorporate some of those things in. But yeah, for me, for Brave Troops, and for TF Safari, I will catch y'all next time, okay? Everyone take care. Peace out.